Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second match in this double-header tonight. It is the WNPL finals here in South Australia. My name is Spiro Karanikos-Mimis, and I'll shortly be joined by Paul Marcochetti, and very delighted to have with us Adelaide United strength and conditioning coach Eleni Vosnakis. This is the qualifying final between Adelaide City and Salisbury Inter. The winner of tonight's match will automatically qualify for the grand final in a fortnight. That is 2 weeks away. The loser will play Metro United, who, in somewhat of an upset, just beat West Adelaide 1-0 in our previous game. The two teams now entering the park. Of course, Adelaide City, the juggernaut that is Adelaide City. In the last fortnight, they've won the Premiership, the Cup, and they are now looking for the Championship. Salisbury Inter, well, they are a team that's come leaps and bounds this year. They finished second, and they are probably the biggest challengers to Adelaide City's dominance. We are going to take a minute's silence, ladies and gentlemen, for a referee's father who passed away. We'll be back with you with the lineups after the moment's silence. A minute's silence. Beautifully observed. Good evening, Paul.
Welcome back, Spiro.
Welcome back. Feels like
it's been so long since we were last on the air.
Like we never left.
A whole 15 minutes.
Well, the real person that everyone wants to hear is from Adelaide United's W League strength and conditioning coach. She's also an assistant coach, and that's Eleni Vosnakis. Welcome, Eleni.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay. I'll just better turn your mic up. Say it again.
Thank you for having me.
That's better. Sorry, Eleni. Let's go through the lineups. We'll start with the home team, Adelaide City. Of course, they were finished first. They are the premiers, and their lineup, well, is exactly as you'd expect. Kendall Jenner in goals, and then McNamara, Di Bartolo, Macaulay, Dylan Holmes is the captain tonight, co-captain with Tian Power, Chelsea Dorber, Izzy Hodgson, Tian Power, Michaela Wittmer, and then the Sasaki sisters, Nano and Yuka Sasaki. On the bench, they've got White, Gray, Lucas, Alana Spiro, Franks and Fitzsimmons. We'll have a look at the Salisbury Inter lineup for you now as well. Paul Marcochetti, over to you.
Just waiting for it to come up, but as you'd expect, Sean McLaren in goal. Coimsis, who will be playing in the left-back position. Nicole Calder, the captain and centre-back. Mallory Mullen, they'll be looking for a lot of attacking channel through her. Emily Condon will be in midfield alongside Chrissa Pavlomanolakis. Ryder will also be at centre-back alongside Calder. Shani Tansell at right-back. Of course, the front two of Rojas and Quigley, and in behind them will be Erin Hood. It's a very strong lineup. On the bench, it's Gardner, Vroigdenberg, Emily Hazelwood, Tipakidis, Harmer, and the reserve goalkeeper is Zafiro Papanikidis. And we're getting close to kick-off. Salisbury Inter will have the kick-off, and they are kicking to the southern or city end, the right-hand side. As you're looking at it, just quickly, Eleni, what do you expect to see tonight? Inter haven't managed to get a win over City before. Is this as good a chance as any?
Oh, if there ever was a chance, tonight is the night, Paul. I think perfect time, perfect moment for Inter to perhaps get one over City.
Well, they got a little bit closer last time. It was 2-1 the last time these two teams met, and of course Salisbury Inter in their fourth season in the top flight. And with City having been so dominant in these 4 seasons, it's probably not that surprising that they haven't managed to get a win against this side. But they've got the strong lineup. But here's City now with Di Bartolo with an early chance. It could be 1-0 already. But It's gone high, but barely 30 seconds on the clock. And Adelaide City already creating a big chance, and that's how quickly they can break, how quickly they can threaten. Yes, that last meeting was in round 11. City with 2 goals from WNPL and Inter's reply from Cote Rojas. They met in the finals last year. It was in the preliminary final, not this match, and City were 5-1 winners on that occasion. Now McLaren just taking her time. It's going to be one in the midfield though. The wind has really picked up. You can probably hear it through the sound effects here. But Inter now trying to break through Hood. On the left wing, Mullen is central, but she's been well tracked. It's going to be a throw in for Adelaide City. 90 seconds played. It's working it up the right hand side. It's Michaela Vidmar at right back, into the side for Georgia Campagnoli, who is almost certainly out through injury. We saw her during the cup final last week, unable to complete the game after sustaining a knock. But Michaela Vidmar, a very able replacement. She has started a lot of games this season in that right back position. Here's Nano Sasaki. Vidmar up the wing to Powell. It's a good ball. It intercepted by Ryder. McLaren got the ball away just in the nick of time. Won by Hodgson. Hodgson tries to get it through for Yuka Sasaki. And a snapshot by Powell. It was intercepted. Hood tries to hook the ball away and does pretty well. But she's given it away though in the end to Nano Sasaki. Holmes outright. Ball was just had a bit much on it for Powell. And it's going to be McLaren's. City quick to put the pressure on very early, Eleni.
Classic start from City. In nice and hard, very early, and making the other team very aware. Classic from them.
Now is an opportunity for Yuka Sasaki on the attacking left. Powell's in the middle. She's just been held up. Here's DeBartolo. Tries to get the ball in board. That's a good one for Holmes. Still going. And, bit of a shout there for a penalty, but the referee's given the throw in, which suggests that Tansel won the ball.
I think it's a corner, Paul, not a throw.
Corner. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
Just while we're waiting, Eleni, last week Adelaide Uni did a terrific job against City, and what they did was play 3 centre-backs. Is that something that perhaps a couple of other teams should have looked at in the finals?
Oh, I think the 3 centre-back thing, I guess, a chance to block City up, but also for Uni, always a chance to try and get our overlapping fullbacks into the game, which is something that Costa Jaric really likes to do.
Waiting for this corner to be taken by Adelaide City. Swung in. Falls to Sasaki. Dorba. That'll be another corner. And early pressure from City. As Eleni said, a trademark of their game. Really come out firing. And everybody's really interested to see how Salisbury Inter handled tonight. Finishing second. No doubt the second best team this season. They did lose 8-1 earlier in the season to Adelaide City, but a much better result in the second game. Header, cleared. And City looking, Inter looking to break early. Here's Rojas, too much on it for her. Macaulay, all the way back to Jenna. Down the line, here's Dorba. Astronomical goal scoring record this season. I'm not sure there's many who can claim to have scored something like 31 goals in 10 matches in any level of competition, but that's what Chelsea Dorba has done this year. Sasaki.
Well, just on that, I love that Cote Rojas has scored 24 and she's well back in second.
That's true. Here's Di Bartolo, player of the match last week in the cup final. Dorba, first touch. Too much on that, and that'll be a goal kick. And Fry McLaren. will slow things down a little bit for Inter here, because it has been all Adelaide City in these opening 6 or so minutes. And I think, Paul, I think you just made the comment about Adelaide Uni really in that cup final last week. Maybe showed other teams how they could potentially slow down City a little bit. We'll just pause there because Sasaki's on the ball. There's a Salisbury Inter player who's actually on the ground outside the field of play. Hence why, I think it was Condon
Shani Tansel.
It is Shani Tansel, Paul, thank you. That's why Condon played the ball out. She's looking like she'll be all right, Tansel. Shani Tansel is another very, very talented footballer. Been very impressed with her in the games that we've called her, Paul. She's a right back.
They picked her up from Fulham last year. Obviously saw that she would be one of the missing pieces in their puzzle to get them towards the championship that they very, very much are aiming for, Salisbury Inter.
Here's Condon. Just re-signed with Adelaide United, Condon. 7th season with Adelaide United, and she's 22 years old, Emily Condon. She's been playing in the W League since she was 15. At 15, I was still playing with my toys. But, you know. Mullen. Sasaki, Nano Sasaki. One of those superb footballers. Back to Sasaki. To her sister. Looking for Di Bartolo, but Inter should regain possession and do.
Condon now just tries to get the ball across for Hood. It wasn't an easy pass for Hood to deal with, and the result of all that will be that it's going to be a City throw, which Vidmar will take in the right back position. Powell now against Ryder. Our teammates at Adelaide United in 2015-16.
Tackle.
Now face each other this evening. Dorber tries to get the ball in, but it's going to be cleared. Calder got the important touch, and well done Rojas to take the ball away from what would have fallen to Nano Sasaki. Now, can she get the return ball? No, there's too much on that one. Saw a lot of that in the first game tonight, just lots of overhit passes going forward. We talk about the surfaces, Eleni. Is it hard sometimes when it just skids on a bit on this particular surface to try to play those balls through? Or are we being a bit kind to the players?
No, definitely. And the water as well wouldn't work in its favour. City obviously training their home pitch. They do have turf, so a little bit of an advantage there. And I have heard that I think their coach likes to put sprinklers on as well. So makes for a little bit of a smoother ball.
Ryder brings the ball away, but Hood can't bring it under control. Vidmar. City just trying to work the ball up the wing, but good pressure there, but it's broken to Nano Sasaki. She's got a pocket of space. Ball doesn't find Di Bartolo, the intended target, and Tansel gets it away. Won by McNamara. She's back with Adelaide United, announced this season. Here's Holmes. Now puts a great ball through for Dorber. McLaren got there just in time. Of course, another player who's, well, I was going to say worn the red of Adelaide United, but she's a goalkeeper. Going back to the very first W League season, Sean McLaren. Here's Holmes. Trying to get that ball through for Dorber, but didn't quite get the angle on that she would have liked.
She was also on the Sydney FC squad, if I remember correctly, Paul. Fryer McLaren, the goalkeeper. That'll be a free kick. And as you can hear, that wind has definitely picked up here at Varlo. There is a match being played concurrently, which you might be able to see occasionally on your screens. That is the reserve game, and that is between Adelaide Uni, and I also believe that's Metro on the other side there. Just getting the nod of approval from our producer. We'll try and keep you up to date with that game too, and I'm sure Eleni will be interested to hear what's going on there. Here's Mullen. Lightning fast. Mallory Mullen. Commentator's curse, ball got away from her, and that'll be a goal kick for Adelaide City. It's bitterly cold here in Adelaide today. There's plenty of action on the park to heat you up.
How about all those conspiracy theorists saying it's the end of September?
That'll be a throw-in for Salisbury Inter. And I swore I saw Abraham driving down King William Street today, mate, with his 4 Kingsmen, but...
May had a boat.
No, that was Moses, wasn't it?
Noah.
No, thank you, Eleni. Thank God someone knows what they're talking about.
we probably need to get back to the football.
Football, yeah.
Here's Jenna. Here's Jenna. And the one half of the Mac defence there is McNamara. She's got Wittmar pushing up. Should go to Michaela Wittmar now. Michaela Wittmar, first time looking for Dylan Holmes. And the referee calling that back for a foul. Looked for the advantage first, the referee. There's nothing playing for Inter. And Inter have now settled into this game. That first sort of 6 or 7 minutes was all Adelaide City, but Inter now finding themselves with a lot more possession. It'll be Chantel Ryder to take this free kick. And I'll take a guess this one's going to be shot in with a bit of venom. And she's got Rachel Quigley as a target, who's an excellent header of the ball. Well, there's too much venom in the end from Chantel Ryder. It's gone comfortably wide. Eleni, for people that might be watching the WNPL for the first time or joining our live stream from overseas or interstate or even locally, tell us about some of the players that we're watching today, some of the quality that there is on show.
Yeah, I can definitely speak on behalf of the girls at City and Inter that are playing at W League level. You've got number 8 in the middle, Dylan Holmes, W League powerhouse in the midfield for us. We've got number 11, Izzy Hodgson for City, again, and a couple of W League seasons under her belt. And then Inter boasts the likes of Maria Rojas, which many of our international viewers would be very familiar with. And also Emily Condon, who, like you mentioned earlier, entered the W League at a very young age. Local from Port Pirie, which is country, South Australia, and has really made a mark in the WNPL here in South Australia. Just
cut you off there, Eleni. Here's Rojas now, the Chilean. Oh, she tried to do something very cheeky there. She thought Jenna was off her line and tried to play it just inside the post, but Jenna was alert and got the foot to it, and that'll be a corner for Salisbury Inter. That'll be their first one. Adelaide City with already 2 corners in this game. And it will be Emily Condon to take it. Port Pirie native, as Eleni just said. Swinging on the left foot is Condon. Jenna came out and didn't get it. And Salisbury Inter have taken the lead here. And it was number 12. Chantel Ryder, the captain, the centre-back, with a superb header.
Number 12, Chantel Ryder. The score is now Adelaide City 0.
And Salisbury Inter have taken the lead. And could this be a night of upsets? We've already seen Metro upset West Adelaide. And now Salisbury Inter scoring first against Adelaide City. And hold on to your horses, folks. Things are about to get really interesting here at Varlo. What a great header by the Salisbury Inter captain in Chantel Ryder.
Paul, I don't know how good your stats are, but do we know how many times City have conceded? We've had a goal against them before they've scored.
Oh, they're good, but they're not that good. One thing for certain, there's been certainly there's been a lot of high-profile games that has happened. And we'll just pause for a moment because City trying to break through here, no foul there, good decision by the referee. There's been a lot of high-profile games that City have gone behind in, one being last year's grand final, of course. against West Adelaide. They also went behind against West earlier this season in the cup cup quarter final. Came back and won that as well. Can't think of any other examples during the year off the top of my head, but
two very good ones.
They have been in this position before. One thing I would mention though, they lost this fixture 1-0 last year. That was against West, and it forced them to go, which was remarkable really, because it was the week after they'd beaten West 6-1 in the cup final. Just pause for a moment, because here's Dorber on the march. Di Bartolo with the shot, well blocked, which forced them to go the long way through the final series last year. And they beat Salisbury into 5-1 in the second week of finals to get the rematch with West. So right now they're actually, it's a long way to go, of course, we're only in the 17th minute, but it's the same scoreline that they lost this fixture by last year. Now here's Dorber trying to fix that straight away. She's going to have a shot, is she, or is she going to try to pull it up and get the ball back in? There's now lots of bodies in the box. Nano Sasaki, that's cleared very expertly, and City will have the throw, but they've come back pretty quickly, unlike what we saw before, where West were never really able to respond to that early goal in the first game we saw tonight against Metro. City are snapping back pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think now they fired up. They started strong, and you can't help a header off a corner. But yeah, City, I think, will definitely try and pull one back very, very quickly.
One game that does spring to mind that Adelaide City went behind in was the first round of the Cup against West Adelaide, but they did end up winning that one 2-1. But it doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Well, here's McNamara. Played out wide. Powell. Here's Vidmar on the overlap. That's going to... Oh, and that defensive header wasn't really needed, and just for a moment it looked like Ryder might have got one at both ends.
Sorry,
so that was called it, not Ryder. So, but luckily for her, it's no greater damage than a corner. "18 minutes played. Can City score for a corner?" Taking it short. But haven't managed to swing the ball in yet. Hodgson tries to do it now. That's going to be easy for the keeper. And Salisbury in to have a chance to get out. Long ball. Rojas one out. She loves this situation. Gets it under control. Turns. Pavla Manolakis. Hood. Rojas. It's good interplay there, but broken up by Hodgson. It's going to be a free to Adelaide City. We've played nearly 19 minutes in this qualifying final between Adelaide City and West Adelaide. Currently, it's the underdogs in front. Adelaide City 0, Salisbury into 1.
Holmes. Looking for Vidmar, but too much on it, and that'll be a free kick for Salisbury Inter. Sorry, throw in. Tonight's WNPL Final Series match is proudly presented by RAA. RAA proudly supporting football in South Australia. Home, motor, travel. Keep on moving with RAA. Thank you so much to RAA for their generous support of football in South Australia. Salisbury Inter getting out of trouble again. Great first touch by Quigley. Oh, it's given away cheaply by Mullen. And here's Sasaki. Sasaki now for Dorber. Dorber stayed on side, but Chelsea, Dorber's lost control of the ball. And that's a bit of a reprieve there for Salisbury Inter. Mallory Mullen giving the ball away. And Chelsea Dorber, unfortunately, for City fans, not able to control the ball. And it'll be a goal kick for Salisbury Inter. It's not often we say that about Chelsea Dorber, but sometimes that's the pressure a goal can bring on a team. Fry McLaren now with a goal kick. Quigley versus Sasaki. Holmes wins the ball. And it's Ryder there clearing under pressure from Chelsea Dorber, but it looks like Dorber actually got a touch on it, and that'll be an inside throw. Kuimzis on the far side. Down the line. Condon gave away the foul. There was an arm in the back. And it looks like Michaela Wittmar will take the free kick for City. She's decided to leave it for Dylan Holmes. And up goes, looks like McNamara from defence. So I suspect this might be a long ball. And the breeze is favouring Adelaide City's side. So no surprise Adelaide City might look to utilise that right now. Holmes, flicked on by Sasaki, back post is Dorber, she's offside. That'll be an offside call against Chelsea Dorber. And Salisbury Inter looking really calm and composed. Absorbing the pressure well from City early. Getting ahead and now looking more than capable of competing against the best team in South Australia in Adelaide City. Here's Wittmar. Plays it back. McNamara. Macaulay. Yuka Sasaki. Hodgson down the line for Di Bartolo, but Tansel's done really well to intercept there. Maybe a throw-in for City.
Which Hodgson will take. We're exactly halfway through the first half, 22 and a half minutes gone. And with the surprise scoreline of Adelaide City 0, Salisbury Inter 1, as we mentioned, we've already seen an upset tonight. Metro United knocking West Adelaide out of the finals. And the loser of this match will play Metro United next Friday night here. And the winner of this game will get the week off and go through to the grand final.
Probably a good time to mention, Paul, that Football SA is broadcasting all the WNPL finals this year. So we'll be bringing you that game next week and obviously the grand final.
We will be indeed. Great to have these extra coverages this year. Now, throw to be taken by Kuimsis. Condon. Lost out to Holmes there, barrowing away. Get the shot in! Just over the bar. It's a good bit of play. Just on Condon, Eleni, I noticed we've seen her often play in a wide attacking role over the years for both, both in the WNPL and for Adelaide United. She's played a lot more sort of in a central position lately for Salisbury Inter. Do you think that might also happen at Adelaide United, or is it still a bit early to tell what her role might be?
Yeah, she's proven herself in both roles. Condon, over the last 12 months, has increased all things athletic, as evident in our fitness testing a month or so ago. So I think the width or the wide playing position would suit her. But yeah, she's more than capable of playing in the midfield. I'm not sure where we're sitting in terms of team set up yet, because we haven't got a finalised team at this stage. But
no, indeed,
yeah.
still a lot of signings to announce.
Her speed would definitely lend itself very well on the wing.
Salisbury in attack. Mullen looking for the throw. Quickly takes it. Good turn. Plays it back out. Now, just not enough room there for Inter, and in the end, they've just conceded the throw. Goes long down the line, too long for Powell. It's going to be another throw to be taken by Michaela Wittmar. This time Powell's able to bring it under control. Goes inboard to Holmes. Macaulay. Back to McNamara. The Mac defence in effect. That's a great ball, but Yuka Sasaki was fractionally offside there. And Salisbury Inter will have the free. Another player I wanted to ask you about, Eleni, was Mallory Mullen. She had a couple of Adelaide United appearances. Then a long injury layoff. Seems to have come back pretty hard, pretty well. Where do you think she's at the moment?
Yeah, she's one of those players that's she's training / trialling with us at the moment. Super fiery player and super tenacious, and I think has really put in a lot of the work in a gym setting to get her where she is at the moment, post-injury. But yeah, battled concussion a fair bit, young Mallory. So he's hoping for a solid final series from her.
Here's Rojas on the attacking left. She's got Quigley in the middle. And it's nearly came through for Mullen, who we've just been talking about, but didn't quite get the touch on it that she wanted. Tansel, that probably wasn't quite the right ball at that time, because Condon, who'd given it back to her, was still available on the right. That's going to be a throw-in for Adelaide City. Do like what I've seen from Tansel this season, though. It's been a really good pickup for Inter. And they've kept the ball in board with Condon. Quigley's got a bit of space here. Back to Rojas, who's offside. Well, not a bad passage of play. And Inter showing that they're not going to be just sitting back on this lead. They've had a bit of forward play, Eleni. They're definitely going to try to continue to sort of put the goals away. I mean, they can't really afford to sit back, can they?
No, and I think it's a great matchup at the moment. They're looking really even, both teams, and they've got two of the best forwards in the league. So yeah, why wouldn't they be pushing forward? I'm actually really excited for the next couple of minutes. See if they can keep them here.
It's the voice of Adelaide United's W League assistant coach Eleni Vasnakis, who's joined us on the broadcast tonight. Here's Di Bartolo. Powell. Dorber, apologies. To Vipma. Dorber again. Nano Sasaki. Outside of the right boot if you don't mind. Izzy Hodgson. Tian Powell tried to flick it on, but Emily Condon there to clean up the scraps, and that's a little cheeky flick from Rojas, and she used all of her experience to get a foul out of that. It was a clear Adelaide City ball, but Rojas, very experienced, was able to draw the foul out of the Adelaide City defender. And Chantal Ryder, the goal scorer, will take the free kick for Inter, just inside her half. Long and hard from Ryder, looking for Quigley. It's fallen to Quigley! And for once, her touch escaped her, Rachel Quigley. A let off, though, for Adelaide City. That was a great free kick by Ryder, given away by Dylan Holmes. And Adelaide City, a bit on the back foot right now. You don't say that often.
We're also on the back foot, as you might be able to hear through the mics, and holding everything down to make sure it doesn't fly onto the pitch.
It is very windy, and we do apologise that that's coming through, but unfortunately, it's just the strength of the wind. City now looking to play out. Here's Vipma. Started on the bench in the cup final last week. Rojas. Nano Sasaki. Rojas using a better judgment than taking a quick throw in.
I don't think I've ever seen her take a throw in, to be honest, Spiro. Played with her a couple of years ago, and I don't think that ever happened.
Here's Holmes. Met by Condon. They'll be teammates this year at Adelaide United. In fact, there's as we've been mentioning Adelaide United quite a bit. There are at least 3 players on the pitch tonight who will definitely be playing for the Reds this season, if not more. Those 3 are Dylan Holmes, Emily Condon, and Chelsea Dorber, and Izzy Hodgson, so that's 4.
And Matilda McNamara.
And Matilda McNamara, that's 5. I'll stop putting a number on, I'll just start saying names. Here's Di Bartolo. Again, harassed out of it by Mullen. Mallory Mullen. Well done well there, Di Bartolo, to get the ball back. Well, that's a really good contest, and the referee has called a foul.
Did you say Mallory was tenacious, Eleni?
I did. There's a bit of fire there. I'm not sure that was a foul, but...
Of course, Adelaide United also announced a further 2 signings today. That was Emily Hodgson. She just played in the preceding match for West Adelaide, and Laura Johns, who's also with West Adelaide but is injured. So the squad coming together. Adrian Stenter is the coach this year. He's taken over from Ivan Karlovic, who's moved into a director role for the W League team. Quigley putting pressure on Holmes, but Dylan Holmes showing her composure and experience. There'll be another free kick for City, just inside their own half. Salisbury Inter will be delighted with this right now. Game's really on their terms, I feel. Is that a big statement to make so early, or?
No, you're right. I'd say they would be delighted, but
you don't have to be.
Can they back it up?
You don't have to be polite, Eleni. It's okay.
Politically correct.
Long ball. McNamara trying to get on the end of it, but Salisbury have got the numbers. But here's Sasaki. Oh, great tackle by Mullen. Nano Sasaki with the shot. Intercepted. McNamara still up forward. She's got 3 intershirts around her. And it's going to end up being an inter throw. Well, bit of action in the goal mouth there, but good defending by Inter.
Quick update from the reserves game that's going on concurrently. Paul, Adelaide Uni have taken the lead against Metro, 1-0.
I won't be polite about that one. I'm happy.
Of course, Eleni was involved with Adelaide Uni this year, coaching there as well, weren't you?
Yes. 17's coach for Uni and looked after the conditioning for the senior squads.
Tansel with the throw. Di Bartolo wins that. Holmes charging through. Calder will manage to clean that up. McLaren's kick's gone very, very high, but not very far. Yuka Sasaki. Nano. Back to McNamara. Vidmar, City build again. It's given away. Ryder. Rojas. No foul. Referee says play on. But there was a foul that time on Emily Condon. And Salisbury Inter will have the free kick just about in the middle of the pitch. Tonight's WNPL final series match is proudly presented by RAA. RAA proudly supporting football in South Australia. Home motor travel. Keep on moving with RAA. Long ball. Oh, and it's gone up and probably not where McNamara wanted it to go, but Izzy Hodgson tries to get away. Gee, she played with fire there. And Mallory Mullen just...
Oh, no.
Well...
I can't watch this.
This is not good at all.
Score update here at the Valo Football Centre for the reserves qualifying final.
Well,
on pitch 2, the score: Adelaide University 1, Metro United 0.
It does not look like a good injury at all for Izzy Hodgson.
Sorry, Paul. I just caught a glimpse of a little replay, and I think her leg has gone underneath her there. That is not good.
Well, if that's what's happened, not only will she not take any more part in this game, but that threatens her season with the W League that she's just signed for, and I really hope that it's not as bad as it looks.
That's not looking good.
Yeah,
that's a real shame for Izzy Hodgson if she's taken a serious knock there.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for a corky, but yeah, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing.
No. And players just regrouping. We played 35 minutes here, and don't really think Hodgson... She's going to get on her feet. Well, that's something, but not really sure about her future in this game, to be honest. But the fact that she's walking unassisted, well, that's a positive, that's for sure. She's gonna continue.
Oh.
Well, I can't believe that. From what it looked like initially, she looked in terrible bother.
I got to say, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I can breathe again.
Thank goodness,
well,
because
we were all very worried up here.
Yeah, that did not look good.
Here's Macaulay, and glad that we can focus on football and not injury. Hopefully that does not end up being anything difficult for Izzy Hodgson. Now, Yuka Sasaki, great flick on by Di Bartolo. Tries to play the ball through for Powell, but Ryder was having none of that.
I think what added to that was the reaction from Mallory Mullen when Hodgson went down. It looked immediately concerning, didn't it? So great to see her keep going.
Great play by Nano Sasaki now. Here's an opportunity. And cleared away. It's going to be City's throw, though. We're in the 37th minute.
Should also just confirm that the referee actually gave Mallory Mullen a yellow card for that tackle on Isabel Hodgson.
Yeah. Alice McCauley's just tried to take the throw about 40 metres away from where it needed to be. But, yeah, the refs just said, no, I think we'll just take that a little bit further up. And Izzy Hodgson looking okay. And Nano Sasaki unmarked. That's not a good idea. Here's Holmes. You don't want to let her shoot from that sort of distance. Who's closed down, and McNamara. Yuka Sasaki. Holmes. McNamara again. Good possession for City. They're just taking a bit of control here. But that ball probably wasn't quite ideal. But Di Bartolo's managed to get hold of it. Powell. Well, appeal for a handball. There's really no way that it could have been avoided by Ryder, to be fair. Or was it Calder, I think. Now, City still on the attack. Dorber's done really well there. So has Di Bartolo. Holds onto it. Back to Dorber, who's switched over to the left. It's a good ball in. And header from Holmes. It's just gone wide. This is better by City, Eleni. They just not just held the ball, but were able to sort of put together some passes in dangerous positions.
Yeah, I think they got maybe a little bit panicked perhaps 10 minutes ago, but this is the City we all know, getting it back under their own control. I say that as Inter has the ball.
Tansel with a long ball to Quigley. Quigley trying to flick it onto Rojas. But collected comfortably by McNamara. To a partner in crime in McCauley. Hodgson, and good to see her up and about. Di Bartolo cuts in expertly. Gets it to Powell. Powell to Sasaki. Sasaki looking for a switch. Can get the overlap from Vitmar. But Hood's done well. That was a great ball, well-weighted ball by Sasaki. Throw in, taken long. Tian Powell using the body against Ryder. Ryder did really well to get a foot there and win a free kick for Inter. Superb defending by Chantal Ryder. As we've said in previous calls, very, very talented football, Chantal Ryder. Had a year with Adelaide United herself. Injuries, unfortunately, probably stalled her W League career, but good to see her playing so well for this Salisbury Inter team and captaining and scoring goals as she has done tonight. Here's Holmes. Looking to cross it in. There is Ryder. Hood second to the ball there, and Dylan Holmes again, a lot of pressure. Now here's Rojas. As Paul said earlier, 24 goals for Rojas this season in the WNPL. Fry McLaren, clearance. Sasaki got the final touch on that, and that'll be a Salisbury Inter throw in directly in front of their bench. Rojas, heavy touch, but Adelaide City getting the final touch. That'll be another throw in for Inter. Quimsis now. Down the line for Hood. It's wasted by Quimsis, and she knew it. She threw her hands up straight away. And it'll be Michaela Vitmar to take the throw.
40 minutes played. We'll probably have a couple of minutes of stoppage time, you would have thought, but particularly with Hodgson being down just a few minutes ago. Seems to be okay now. Quigley flicks on there. Nano Sasaki can only hit it back, but Holmes, busy in traffic, does well. And gets Di Bartolo out with a chance. Now, Can she get it through to Powell? But no. Calder's done well there.
Expertly well.
It's going to be a corner though. And give City an opportunity. Or is it going to be a throw, in fact? It is a throw. Holmes. Ball sort of bounced in an awkward spot for her to be able to bring it under control. Dorber tries to hook it over for Di Bartolo. Just had a little glimpse at the goal there. But her volley just didn't get as good a piece of the ball as she would have liked. But how much would Salisbury Inter love to take this lead into the half-time break? They're only a few minutes away. Is it too early to just sort of try to sort of think about half-time, Eleni, or is that you know, exactly what not to do in a situation like this?
Yeah, no, play till you hear that whistle. We've all played games, or we've all watched games where extra time is when the other team gets one against us.
And City are certainly a team that can just pull the trigger. Hodgson, good ball. Yuka Sasaki, well intercepted by Calder. Yuka will get it back. Good ball. Hodgson again. Tries to get the cross in on her right foot. This might break for Nano. She scored from here in the cup final. Couldn't quite pull the trigger again. It's come her way again. And scored, no! Just wide by Powell. Oh. Well, sorry, it was Holmes. And City with all sorts of opportunities there. They kept the pressure on. Inter weren't able to clear. Sasaki's shot didn't find its way through. She then flicked the ball forward for Holmes, who put it wide. Nano wins it in the air, but here's Rojas. Can't bring it under control, but she does now. 3 players around her. He's still going. Tansel. Under pressure there was Condon. And now here's an opportunity for Powell. Tried the left foot shot, but Ryder was there, and it's another corner for City, their 4th. Well, they're definitely putting the pressure on late in this half. They want an equaliser before half-time. And they've been pretty much camped in Salisbury's Inter's half for these last few minutes. Oh, met at the back post by McNamara. No good this time.
It's Adelaide City's 12th shot off target, Paul. Dorber now. Plays it back to Sasaki. McNamara. Hodgson. Sasaki again. Got the ball from Di Bartolo. Di Bartolo in possession. Hodgson to Rojas. Salisbury Inter have managed to repel Adelaide City most occasions. That's last passage there with Dylan Holmes and the header from McNamara, probably 2 of the better opportunities Adelaide City have had. We said that they've had 12 shots off target, but really only 1 on target tonight. Calder, well cleared. Hood putting a bit of pressure on Vitmar, but Vitmar's done really well there. McNamara looking down the line for Dorber, but Quimsis has done well. In fact, I have to say, I have to credit Quimsis' game so far on Dorber. Been superb. Oh, Calder, no penalty. That was a bit late from Nicole Calder. I'm not surprised the Adelaide City players weren't a bit more vocal about that. Maybe the referee looking at Calder getting something of the ball and deciding there was nothing there, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be 3 minutes of time added on. 3 minutes.
You probably just heard there will be 3 minutes of extra time, additional time in this first half, all probably down to the fact that Izzy Hodgson was down for so long. Calder inside to Condon. Mullen. Bit of a loose pass from Mallory Mullen. It'll be a throw-in now, taken by Hodgson.
Lenny, has there been enough pressure exerted in midfield, particularly by City in this game? I just feel like it, particularly when we looked at the first game tonight, that there wasn't anywhere for players to breathe, and I'm just wondering if it's been perhaps not quite as tight as it could have been.
No, I think Inter have dominated this midfield, and I'm not sure if it's been noticed, but Quigley often drops in, leaves Cote up there, and Quigley, Condon and Mel, or Mullen rather, are almost triple teaming when a City midfielder has the ball. Probably not by chance. I dare say something Tracy has practiced.
Jenna with a long clearance there for City. Pablo Manolakos done well to get the header. Long ball now, Tian Powell. I think she stayed on side. She probably will get there just ahead of the Salisbury Inter defence. Looked up and there wasn't much happening. Now the Adelaide City reinforcements arrive, but they've had to go back out. Here's Sasaki, Nano Sasaki, well tackled. Superbly tackled by Mullen. Royhas cuts inside and wins a foul. And that was excellent by Salisbury Inter, and that'll be a yellow card to Macaulay, and some of the Inter fans giving the referee the Bronx cheers.
I feel like we've spent a lot of the game on the ground from both teams.
Yeah. Another Adelaide City supporter not so happy, you might have heard, but such is the game. I thought that was a definite yellow card. It looked like a professional foul to me. And no complaints from Macaulay. Ryder to take this free kick. Goes long, pretty much central. Hood's done well. Again, Salisbury Inter seeking a free kick, but referee saying nothing there. And as we wind down towards half-time, Salisbury Inter looking comfortable.
Tell you what, it must have been, Macaulay must have thought it was a genuine yellow, because I'm told she's one of the most entertaining players out on the field when it comes to chat with other players and the ref.
There is half-time here at Velo in this qualifying final between Salisbury Inter and Adelaide City. And it is Salisbury Inter taking a 1-0 lead into half-time. The goal scorer was Chantel Ryder in the 12th minute. And Adelaide City, who have won something like 13 or 14 games in a row, are finding themselves down at half-time. And Salisbury Inter have been absolutely superb so far in this game. Tonight's WNPL Final Series match is proudly presented by RAA. RAA proudly supporting football in South Australia. Home motor travel. Keep on moving with RAA. Go get yourself a nice cup of tea. Get comfortable. We're going to have the second half for you in this qualifying final, and it's going to be an absolute beauty. Back with you very soon.
Welcome back to Vallo Football Centre in Angle Park for Football SA's live stream of the qualifying final between Adelaide City and Salisbury Inter. The winner of this game goes directly into the grand final in 2 weeks' time. The loser will have to face tonight's surprise winners of the elimination final, Metro United, next week for another chance at qualification for the grand final. Tonight's WNPL final series match is proudly presented by RAA. RAA proudly supporting football in South Australia. Home motor travel. Keep on moving with RAA. Well, we saw an upset in the first match, which was Metro United defeating West Adelaide 1-0, and we are currently on track for an upset here with Salisbury Inter, who have never beaten Adelaide City in the 4 years that they've been in the WNPL, currently leading 1-0 at half-time. And I'm joined by my normal co-commentator Spiro Karanikos-Mimis, and also guest commentator Adelaide United strength and conditioning and assistant coach Eleni Vosnakis. And I'll go to you first, Eleni. A real turn-up in the first half. Can Adelaide City just keep doing what they're doing and eventually break through, or does something have to change perhaps?
I think City don't like, they love playing their own game, and at the moment, Inter have taken that away from them, in my opinion. So City have that experience, and they also have the fitness. And if you look at many of the other games that they've been very successful in, they run it out in the last 20 minutes. They just seem to get over teams, whether it's fitness, whether it's experience, composure. I'm not sure. But, I think this is probably one of the toughest breaks, or the toughest half time to come back to being 1-0 down for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they approach it. Spiro, do you expect any changes this early, or do you think they might come a bit later?
Well, this is probably Adriano Pellegrino's first real test since he took over the coaching for Adelaide City halfway through this season. We spoke to him after the game last week, and he kind of said, my role is to sort of guide these girls to the next level. But now he has some actual tactical and decisions to make. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think he'll hold the course for now. I mean, Adelaide City is still a quality outfit. They're just talent all over the park. So I can't see him making any rash decisions. Of course, we said that at half-time of the previous game, and then Sandtrack made 2 changes. But I think they'll hold steady here, City. But the longer the game goes, the more desperate they might become, and then they'll be vulnerable to the counter-attack. So right now, it's advantage Salisbury Inter in more ways than one.
Well, we're about to kick off the second half, and it will be Adelaide City to kick off. They will be kicking to the southern or city end here at Vallo, and the WNPL gets them underway, and they'll be looking to attack straight away. But there's Ryder just getting the ball away, and now Rojas might be able to run onto this, but McLaren will get there first. McNamara will get there first, and there are way too many Macs out there, and Jenna will claim the ball. Now, let's come out to the left back position. Holmes in the middle, trying to find a way forward. That's a good ball to Di Bartolo, who just stayed the correct side of the defence and has some players in the middle. Still Di Bartolo tries to bring the ball back in, but it's going to be cleared for a throw-in. Adelaide City looking to get on the front foot straight away. We wouldn't have expected anything less. Going to be taken by Hodgson. The rain is coming down now. That's the only thing that's been missing so far tonight. We've had the wind, we've had the coldness, and now it's the rain. Last week we were all dressed in our summer clothes for the cup final, but here's Powell. That ball might run through for Vidmar though. Oh, she's put it over. Yes, last week it was a sunny day and a warm evening, weather in the mid-20s, and now it's probably about 8 or 9 degrees and the rain is coming down heavily. But
this will be the test of the new scaffolding too here, yeah, Paul. Is it going to leak? So far, so good.
Yeah, you know what they say, a week is a long time in weather.
Oh dear.
Here's McLaren. The umbrellas are coming out all over the place. Sasaki heads back. Now Powell trying to bring the ball under control, does so. Yuka Sasaki. Hodgson. Dorba Can she make herself some space? Comes out to Vidmar. Oh, she's given it short, and it's fallen to Mullen. Mullen now. Rojas wins it. Oh, she's taken a bit of a knock there. Tries to keep going, and she's hurt.
That's a corky.
Yeah, and as Eleni has said, she might have copped a corky there. It's really, really raining heavily now.
Paul, I did call this about 2 hours ago, though. It's finally arrived.
Well done, Spiro. And your ability to look up your weather app is, can I just say, is absolutely unrivaled.
Oh, dear. Well, Port fans will be ecstatic. The tarps are out, folks. Sorry, that was not fair, was it?
Terrible reference. I don't even like them. Here's Ryder. Rojas is back, just a bit proppy. My goodness, it's heavy rain at the moment, as you can probably see on your screen.
Sideways rain as well.
Yeah.
Delightful. Oh, yeah.
Well, folks, at home, I hope you're enjoying this with the heater on and your coffee or your tea or your hot chocolate.
Yeah, I would normally say make every effort to get to the game, but if you're home tonight, you won. Here's Holmes. This ball's going to be a throw-in for Adelaide City. It's not the first time, I can tell you, that there's been heavy rain in the final WNPL final series. I reckon we'd get at least one game every September or August, as the case may be, where we get heavy rain here for one of these matches. Particularly remember a match in 2016, the preliminary final then between Fulham and Adelaide City. It was very much like this. That game went to penalties. We'll be here for a while if that happens tonight. Back to the action now. Inter has the throw. Just north, well, and yes, it is actually north of the halfway line for them. Tansel took it. Now she's got the ball again, under pressure. Turns away. Probably go all the way back. Oh, just put Ryder under a little bit of pressure and she had to hook it away. Here's Di Bartolo. Steps on the ball, but might not have taken the right option then. Vidmar. Powell. This is Holmes, gets the ball in. Hodgson. Sorry, it's Vidmar. Cross comes in now, but Ryder will win that. Nano Sasaki, under a lot of pressure. Oh no, the Falcon. Emily Condon has... Now that was hit into her face. A hard, wet ball at point blank range, straight into Emily Condon's face. That could be quite... Oh dear, well, it's the second time we've been worried about a player tonight, and I hope that this isn't too bad either. But that looked terrible. That ball could hardly have been hit any harder into Condon's face, and geez, especially Eleni when it's wet, that's got to be the worst pain imaginable.
It's not nice.
Oh.
So it has got a nose as well.
These are testing conditions for everybody. Commentators, players, officials, fans. But it's a winter game, right? This is what everybody wants, doesn't it, in the winter?
Yeah.
Taking on water here, like the Titanic.
I can't swim, guys, so I might need some help.
Well, there's a real concern around Condon at the moment.
Yep.
She's motionless on the ground, and players rallying around her. I'm just waiting to see if the stretch is going to come. It hasn't thus far. She is up. Although, surely as a precaution, Spiro, even if you technically didn't have to, you'd really want to just make absolutely sure she's okay.
Yeah, I think so.
To take a blow like that.
Well, the player hasn't been cautioned, so Emily Condon does need to come off. That's the technicality in the new rule. If a player is cautioned in a tackle, then that player who's injured gets treatment. They don't have to come off. But because there was no caution, as you can see, Condon is coming off, and that is correct according to the rules. But
she's looking reasonably comfortable as she comes on, which is great.
But
that was really, really rocketing that ball into her face. Yeah. Wow. Drop ball, of course, another one of the new rules goes straight to the team that would have had possession. And Salisbury Inter clear away. Now McNamara should be able to get that back. Oh dear. She and Jenna have made a bit of a mess of that, and Salisbury Inter as a bonus from having had possession from the drop ball. We're at one end of the field now, have a corner. It's almost a slightly apocalyptic looking sight that I can see. Bit of water coming into the commentary area. Short corner. Rojas tries to turn inside, but that's going to be a goal kick. And we are in the 53rd minute of this qualifying final between Adelaide City and Salisbury Inter.
Fry McLaren. Sorry, that's Kendall Jenner. So, Hodgson. Actually, Paul is... no, Izzy Hodgson's out there, sorry.
No,
Sasaki.
No changes yet.
Yep. Dorber. It's a good touch considering the amount of rain that's just fallen. Seems to have settled a little bit now. That's a through-border looking for power, but again, picked up a lot of pace on the surface. Fry McLaren's got the ball for Inter. Long ball. Have fun getting under that. Expertly done though. That was McNamara. Here's Mullen. Whitmar has done really well. Whitmar, unlucky for her, took a touch off the Inter player. It'll be a throw-in. Sorry, I apologise. It took a touch off the City player. It'll be an Inter throw-in. As the rain has settled, so whatever's hopefully that is the worst of it. Avlamanolakos to Quigley. Dummies the first shot. Harassed by 4, Rachel Quigley. Still got a pass out. There's Ryder. Well tackled though. Well, Ryder's done well to recover, but the Inter player had her back turned, and Dorber's now picked up on it. Chelsea Dorber, pace. And she's well held up by Quimzis. It's done really well there to recover Quimzis, and that'll be another corner for Adelaide City. That'll be their 5th. And it'll be Sasaki. Nano Sasaki. Some of the spectators venture back out from under cover towards the sideline. Sasaki, great ball. Well done by Calder. Here's Hodgson. Nano Sasaki. Yuka. Swings it in. Looking for power. She flicks it on to Di Bartolo. Di Bartolo should get onto this. She's got Tansel for company. Tansel's done really well. Very impressive is young Tansel. Quigley sporting a new haircut tonight. Blonde hair.
I like it.
Yep. Di Bartolo. Back to Hodgson. 10 minutes into this second half, and really City haven't had a chance yet, and credit to Inter. Doing superbly well. Hodgson. Yuka Sasaki. Dorber. Ryder there again. Chantel Ryder's done very well. Very well, Chantel Ryder. Has defended brilliantly all game. Unfortunately, that's a handball though. And that'll be a free kick for Adelaide City. And Dylan Holmes will step up to take this one. Do we officially call this unfamiliar territory now for Adelaide City?
I think so. I think so, but maybe familiar territory if they get one soon, and then they just, do that late game finish that they're used to doing, finishing very, very strong.
Ryder will be able to clear the free kick away. Condon will complete the process. Seems to be okay after that massive blow to her face. City with the throw now. Trying to get Di Bartolo in down the wing, but it's all blue and black shirts there. In the 58th minute. Adelaide City 0, Salisbury into 1. Salisbury into not just looking for a place in the grand final. Well, we'll just pause for a minute. Here's Holmes. And Holmes in there, the middle. Vidmar. He's gone out for a goal kick, but Salisbury into not just looking for a place in the grand final, but also looking for their first ever win over Adelaide City. And there's still a bit to go. If we think back to some other big games City have played in recent times, they were behind later than this in the grand final last year, and they came back to win that. Here's Hood. Got a good ball from, that's going to be Jenner's. Got a good ball from Quigley. Jenner now. Yuka Sasaki's found some space. She's just floating across both sides of the field at the moment. Powell might be offside there and is. Referee's going to let that go. No, it is going to go back for the free kick to Inter. It's worth Eleni for City perhaps doing something like sometimes they swap, wings with Dorber and Di Bartolo. They can move the Sasaki sisters around the midfield. Is it?
Yeah, I was
these
just
options
thinking,
they might take that.
Well, Dorber, other than the last 6, has had a reasonably quiet one, so I might start playing with different options. But again, they've got time and they work well with time, and all they need is one. And I think the gates will open for them.
Powell has a shot, just wide. It's good work from Holmes to get away past a couple of Inter players and play that ball in for Tian Powell. We're on the hour mark.
They'd be wanting the rest too next week, City, coming off the cup final.
Yeah.
Inter obviously having the rest last week.
That's a good point. Oh, great touch by Quigley. But Inter's lost out there. Holmes now, who's just starting to get busier. Tries to get Powell through. Falls to Powell eventually. Now the ball might break for Vidmar, overlapping on the right-hand side. Brings the ball inside Mullen. Now, Dorber, Holmes. Di Bartolo's got nowhere to turn. Holmes has a shot! And as much as City are lining up a lot of hits from about 20 yards out, just not getting many of them on target. They're leading the shot count pretty heavily, but they're not going to be able, they haven't been able to get any on target so far.
Just an update, Paul, on the game that's played concurrently in the reserves game. It still remains 1-0 in favour of Adelaide Uni, but Metro United have had a player sent off, so Metro down to 10.
Oh, what a night of football. We've seen 2 magnificent games here on the main pitch. Both might turn up being upsets. The first one was Metro 1, West Adelaide 0, and currently Salisbury into leading Adelaide City 1-0. Sasaki. City just unable to get the ball in on that occasion through Powell, but they'll have the throw.
Di Bartolo. Dylan Holmes. Great shot. Ooh. Sorry, that was Izzy Hodgson, not Dylan Holmes. Fry McLaren had a bit of a fumble. Rojas. It was Francia Shilly who got sent off for Metro. just in the other game, the concurrent game. Throwing down the line, Vitmar. Dorber, but Mallory Mullen, who has done some excellent defensive work tonight. We're used to seeing her really push hard forward, but she's done really well harassing Adelaide City and putting them under pressure. Tansel, only as far as Holmes. Bit of head tennis. Pavla Manolakos with that last touch. Here's Tian Pao. Yuka Sasaki looking to play a through ball. Chelsea Dorber's got the pace. She might just get onto this. Well done by Fryer McLaren. Well read by the experienced goalkeeper, and she cleared that. And we've seen Chelsea Dorber get onto those often. She timed her run perfectly, did the goalkeeper, the Salisbury Inter goalkeeper. Long ball now. Dorber looking for a foul against Calder. Referee says nothing there. It's fallen to Dylan Holmes. Now the referee's given the foul for the later tackle on Nano Sasaki. The Salisbury fans not happy. Not happy at all. And up comes the defence again. McNamara. Matilda McNamara. Hodgson. That's Dylan Holmes. Swinging it in nicely. Well done by Salisbury Inter. Was that a handball? No, says the referee. Play on. And now Salisbury Inter have a chance to break. Can they get the ball forward? But Nano Sasaki, beautifully done. Yuka Sasaki. She's overran it. Emily Condon, through ball to Rojas, 2-on-2 here. Koto Rojas, great defending by Macaulay. Into one possession back. Condon, using her right foot. Given away by Hood. Holmes. Oh, that's a wasteful ball from Dylan Holmes. That's not something you say very often when you commentate Dylan Holmes.
Rarely.
But Adelaide City have had a bit of an off night tonight, and credit to Salisbury Inter. They've been very good. They're only 25 minutes away from a maiden grand final appearance, Salisbury Inter. Lots and lots of football to be played. And one thing we know about this Adelaide City team is they will not go away lightly. Great tackle. Nano Sasaki on Quigley. What a through ball to Chelsea Dorber. Chelsea Dorber now with McLaren. Side netting.
That's the opening that City haven't really been able to make so far tonight, Eleni, but positive sign for them.
Oh, most definitely. That's the Dorber we know. So she had a reasonably, well, quiet game against Uni as well last week. When I say quiet, I mean she didn't score 3 goals. But she'd be wanting to get some in the back of the net tonight, that's for sure, Dorber.
Rojas. Now, Mullen trying to get the ball through back for Rojas. It might fall for Hood. It's going to be a corner. And a second into goal would just really shock this crowd and anyone watching. 6th corner for Inter. Few players up. They've got some good timber in the air. That's gone over the... Went over Jenna, and just for a moment you thought it might go inside the post, but fortunately for the City keeper and for her teammates, it's gone out for a goal kick. The City just not playing the game as much on the terms that they would like. They're getting good pressure from players like Rojas. She wanted a free there, but nothing doing. There's 2 Inter players down. Ryder, though, has possession. Both players getting back up now.
It's Rojas and Mullen, Paul.
Dorber, good ball. And good, well-timed run by Yuka Sasaki. Brings it under control. There's players in the middle. She can get a ball in. Vidmar. She does cross it in.
Great cross.
Oh, well done, Fryer McLaren. And she's collided with Powell, and that's hurt Tian Powell. Tian's back up. I was going to say she's not a player that goes down at all, so it would have to be something for her. And there's a shot from Di Bartolo, but that was only ever going up. Do you like these sort of conditions as when you're playing, Eleni? These, you know, you enjoy playing in the rain, or is you prefer it to dry underfoot?
Dry, warm weather. But most footballers would say they do enjoy these. I just don't like the top sticking to you and your shorts sticking to you. It's not very glamorous.
Here's Macaulay. Holmes. Nano Sasaki. Dorber. Heavier touch than she would have liked. Quigley. Probably a bit too much on that for Hood to get there, so Hodgson will clean up. Here's Yuka Sasaki. He's had a pretty good game, I think. But Holmes out on the right-hand side. She's gotten the ball back. Still Dylan Holmes, still. It's going to be a goal kick. You know, it's interesting. She was on the right of midfield to receive that ball, Eleni.
I'm just trying to think back to where she came from. Did Dorber tucked in? I was caught staring at the subs. They don't look like they're warming up anytime soon.
No, you're right.
Under blankets.
Probably wouldn't matter if they did, to be honest, Eleni. I don't think you're going to get warm very quickly here. Here's Condon. Mullen. Intercepted by Adelaide City's defence. The Mac defence playing a quick 1-2. Here's Dylan Holmes. Dylan Holmes now gets inside. Has a shot. Dylan Holmes saved by Fryer McLaren. What a superb save. Got down low. The big right hand. Pushed it away. Quick throw in by Adelaide City. Di Bartolo. Dorber now. Looks to take a shot. Chelsea Dorber. Safe hands again by Fryer McLaren. Now the long ball. Roy Hass is going to have to do a lot of work. That's a good little touch there in the end from McNamara. It's gone through to Jenna. It's now with Nano Sasaki. Powell is giving the ball away. Mullen. Quigley. What a touch by Rachel Quigley. She just got harassed out of it by Izzy Hodgson. And Adelaide City backs against the wall a little bit here. And we spoke about it a little bit earlier. As this game progresses and they push forward looking for that equaliser, there is the potential for space to open up for Salisbury Inter in behind. Mullen did well with a header. And I'll tell you what, McNamara feeling the pressure a little bit. She doesn't make many mistakes, McNamara. Quimsis now. Down the line for Rojas. Nano Sasaki cleaning up beautifully. Chelsea Dorber throwing up her hands a little bit in frustration. It's gone out for throw-in. Here's Quimsis. She's gone down the line, but
she wasn't given an option.
No,
really.
she really wasn't. You're right, Paul. And they're probably lucky to get the throw in there. Salisbury Inter. Mullen.
Someone's got to just pin themselves up the line so that even if it doesn't go there, you create another option.
Mullen flicks it over to Rojas. She's got Quigley cutting inside. Takes a quick option, does Rojas. Jenna's done really well there. Wet ball. Held that comfortably. Quick release now. Izzy Hodgson. To Dorber. Sorry, to Holmes.
She's everywhere.
Yes.
Dylan.
Inside. Sasaki. She's got the overlap. She can get it out here to Vitmar. It's exactly where it lands. Great touch by Vitmar. Excellent pass too. Here's Di Bartolo in the box. Danny Di Bartolo harassed out of it by Coomsis. Cuts it across. Brian McLaren.
72 minutes played. Adelaide City 0, Salisbury into 1. Big header by McNamara. Holmes. Just nice little deflected header onto Di Bartolo, but her ball's going to be cleaned up by Ryder. Quigley. Rojas. Quigley's back in the middle if she can get control. She'll take them on, Cote Rojas, but well defended by McNamara. Going to be a Salisbury into throw, which Tansel will take. What a game this has been. Inter really battling hard. It's not like they've been over defensive, Eleni. They have played their part in this game at both ends.
Yeah, their work rate, I think, Inter is getting them over the line at the moment. And they're also, they just really look like they're enjoying themselves. I know Mel Mullen looks like he's just happy to be out there. And remembering that it was only a couple of years ago that they weren't making finals appearances.
Well, it's an ambitious club for sure, and it's their 4th season in the WNPL. There's not one player from the team that got them promoted from the State League back in 2016 at the club. Well, in this side anyway. Di Bartolo's offside there. Now, all of these players have arrived since then. It's all very high quality players. There's no passengers out there at all. Been a strong recruitment effort by Inter to make themselves one of the top clubs in the WNPL, and they are 20 perhaps less minutes away from a grand final. Rojas trying to help make it 2. Nearly got the ball through for Tansel. McNamara to bring it away. This game is alive. Powell. Holmes. It's going to be cut out by Coimsis there. Now here's an opportunity. Condon, Rojas, Mullen, Mallory Mullen! Saved by Jenner, who came out just in the nick of time. Nano Sasaki. Di Bartolo. Powell brings it back inside.
2-0 to Adelaide Uni in the reserves game, Paul. And Eleni.
Doing my happy dance.
Here's Macaulay now. Ryder will beat Powell to that header. Nano Sasaki.
Adelaide City a bit frantic now, aren't they?
Well, they're not playing bad football at all, but they're really trying to lift through the gears now. Nano, they're really trying to create that opening. The Inter defence has been rock solid, and I just wonder if they're perhaps trying to do too much of the through ball, Eleni, and they maybe really need to try to exploit their pace out wide a little bit more.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of the overlap. Both very nippy fullbacks. I'm not sure why they haven't taken advantage of that. But yeah, what have we got? About 15 minutes to go, and yeah, I think I'm eating my words. I thought now City would be over the top, but struggling a little bit.
Through ball for Holmes. It's got too much on it, and Brian McLaren comfortable. Interesting tactical moves by both coaches here. So, looked like Pellegrino has swapped Di Bartolo and Dorba, and in response, Salisbury Inter also swapped Tansel and Coimsis to keep those players on their opponents. So,
well, it's worked so far, those matchups. Those two players, Tansel and Coimsis, have been very, very good tonight.
Absolutely. That's a foul just inside the Adelaide City half. Up steps Macaulay. Takes it quickly. Hodgson. the Sasaki sisters. Quick 1-2 between them. Mullen, one possession. Rojas, what a flick. What a first-time ball from Quigley. Quigley and Rojas having some fun. Here's Kodo Rojas. Oh, she stepped on the ball. And now she's harassed by two City players, Di Bartolo, McNamara. There's a switch by Tansel to Hood. Condon looking for a through ball. Emily Condon now with Rojas. She was offside.
That was great football by Inter.
They've been known to do that multiple times. Quigley, Rojas, Mullen, they just combine so well.
Substitution for Adelaide City. Number 40 coming off, that's Yuka Sasaki. And 15 coming on, Bianca Gray.
Thought Yuka had played well, to be fair.
Oh, very well.
Probably a tactical change, though.
I think so. I dare say some of them probably maybe a little tired coming off of last week. Not sure what their training week was like, but yeah, I think Bianca, is it?
Bianca Gray,
very confident player. She did fine in there.
Just wondering where Bianca Gray might go. She has had a tendency to go up top when she's come on, but usually she's come on for someone like Powell or Dorba or Di Bartolo, so we don't often see one of the Sasaki sisters come off. Looks like she's slotted into that midfield three, so she'll play next to Holmes and Nano Sasaki. There is Bianca Gray, it's overrun her. Quimsis has done well. Didn't get the return pass though, and here go Adelaide City with a chance to counter. Tian Powell has left it intelligently. She knew she was offside. She was hoping Dorba would run on. That was Hodgson who'd made the long run. And a bit short now in defence, City, but well composed. Sasaki plays over the top. Here's Tian Powell. She gets to it in time. Decides to ignore Bianca Gray and goes all the way back to Izzy Hodgson. Nano Sasaki. Long shot, Nano Sasaki. And really, that's not going to test Fry McLaren tonight. And the form she's shown. It'll be a goal kick for Salisbury Inter. Tonight's WNPL coverage is proudly brought to you by RAA. RAA supporters of football here in South Australia. Look them up, folks. Great South Australian company. Supporting South Australian jobs. Motor, home, travel, keep on moving with RAA. Mullen plays it inside to Rojas. And Cody Rojas has done well. 1, 2, 3. And then tried a sneaky one to Hood, who apologises. And Tansel.
Was she apologising for not being able to do what Kate Rojas does? 'Cause I don't think you need to apologise for that, Eleni.
No, I've definitely done that.
We'd all be saying sorry.
Apologise to Kathleen just for being in her presence and not being good enough sometimes.
Of course, former teammates at Adelaide Uni, you and her. Long ball for Dorba, who's been well held tonight, as we've mentioned. Di Bartolo. Ref tried to play it. It was good refereeing. Tried to play an advantage, but when it wasn't there, pulled it back. Nano Sasaki, Powell, Holmes. This is good. Di Bartolo. Chance to get the cross in. That's just too easy, though. It really had to go first time, didn't it, Eleni? It just gave Tansel the opportunity to close down.
Yeah, definitely. But you never know with the shot slash cross like that in this weather. It could be a slip. I nearly saw it earlier.
True.
Safe hands though from McLaren.
Long ball. Dorba's going to be offside if she gets there, I think. No, the flag has stayed down. Dorba, one out against Ryder. Dorba! Saved by Fry McLaren.
I don't like criticising referees, Paul, but I think the assistant referee got that one wrong. Dorba was right in front of us. She was definitely offside.
Two headers there from McNamara to get the ball away, but now it's Macaulay, Vidmar. They're all got Rojas just terrorising them at the moment. but on that occasion, Vidmar's able to get the ball away. And that's actually a good ball for Di Bartolo. Now she wants to get Powell on her way. Inter held a good line to make sure that Powell couldn't get off early. And just made sure that made sure she had to hold up her run. Holmes, Di Bartolo. Well intercepted though. Bringing it away was Condon. And she's going to get the 1-2 now. Condon. Oh, that wasn't the right ball at all. Her and Rojas just not on the same wavelength on that occasion.
She never looked like she wanted to carry it, did she, Condon? No. She was always looking for the pass.
Well, these players will be getting tired. It's tough conditions tonight. Here's Powell. Just uses Di Bartolo as a shield. Holmes. Pressure straight away. Hodgson. She tried to get past, but Hood's beaten her. Falls to Nano Sasaki. Beautiful skill, as always, from Nano Sasaki. Takes on a couple of players. Lines up a shot! Too high. You wouldn't bet too much against her if she's clear from that distance, Nano. But like many of City's shots, they've had plenty tonight. Very few on target. Ball's just going to skid away from Mullen. Vidmar's going to take the throw. Plenty of urgency from City at the moment, but it hasn't created the sort of chances that they want. Can Di Bartolo change that now? Tries to take on Ryder. Can she get the cross in? Holds it back. That wasn't the right ball though. Pavla Manolakis just scoots it away. Comes out. Michaela Vidmar with the throw. This is fantastic stuff. The favourites trying to get back on level terms. Vidmar with a good ball. Holmes! What a goal! What a fantastic header! That was just absolutely perfectly angled past.
Adelaide goal scored by number 8, Dylan Holmes. Now Adelaide's
Whoa! Just when it was starting to look like it might not come, a moment of absolute quality to put City back on level terms. In the 84th minute, it's 1-1. And who else but Dylan Holmes?
Game on. Absolutely game on here at Velo. Oh no, Tian Powell is through. Could it be 2 in a minute? Tian Powell held back. Probably could have played Chelsea Dorber through there, Tian Powell. Brian McLaren, safe hands.
And just before you go on, that was one tactic that pulled off. Holmes has definitely come up to a sort of attacking role. She's been given license to play, up near the front three, and it paid off just then.
Here's Hood.
3 headers in the finals. Was the Metro winning goal a header?
It certainly was. You're right. They've all been headers tonight.
Yeah, I was just playing them through back in my mind. Who scored for Inter? It was Chantel Ryder from a header from a corner.
Yeah.
Eleni Vosnakis, folks. Adelaide United W League assistant coach, all over it.
Yeah, and also you're just a little bit slow, Spiro.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
I know, mate. It's been a long night.
Michaela Vidmar. We might be here for a lot longer, Paul, the way things are going. Here's Mullen. Down the line to Tansel.
You're putting for overtime.
What's 1.85 of 0? What a penalty rate?
Where did you pull out 1.85? That's what I want to know.
Penalty rates? 1.85, 2.85. I'll just stop. Let's call the game. Di Bartolo to Dorber. Salisbury Inter haven't made a change yet either. Cheeky through ball by Dylan Holmes.
To be fair, we should have quit when we got all the biblical names wrong.
In the 5th minute.
You didn't, Eleni. You corrected both of us.
Here's Rojas now for Inter. Goes the first time shot. Jenna's done well there. Landed right in front of her, and they can be tricky in these conditions. Sasaki immediately under pressure. Oh, she's given away to Mullen. Here's Marilu Mullen. Over the bar. Opportunity missed. And I don't know about you guys, but There seems to be a significant amount of Inter fans here tonight who are very disappointed with that went over the bar.
I think they failed to see that Mallory might have actually handballed the ball.
That was my first impression. I wasn't sure.
Nearly gave herself an assist.
Powell. She's got Di Bartolo running past. The deflection almost comes to Dorber. It's Hansel. Sorry, Coimzis. Izzy Hodgson. Powell gives it back to Hodgson. Hodgson's cleaned up violently by Nicole Calder. And that's a free kick and a yellow card. And in a very, very dangerous position. McNamara is slowly making her way up from defence for Adelaide City. Tian Powell making her way into the box. Chelsea Dorber going over to collect the ball. Is this the moment for Adelaide City? It'll be very cruel on Salisbury Inter, who've been superb tonight. But this is a very, very dangerous position. Bit of anticipation in the crowd too. Interestingly, Adelaide City have chosen to leave 3 players in defence against Rojas alone, so 9 players in the box for Inter. City with the free kick. It's a flick on, it's gone in! It's Dylan Holmes again! You couldn't write the script even if you tried. Dylan Holmes has been pushed up into an attacking position late in this second half, and she has won 2 headers and scored 2 goals to pull Adelaide City out of nowhere. And now they have 1 foot in the grand final. What a player. She is a champion, Dylan Holmes. And she's shown her class. Salisbury Inter, I don't think, can believe what's just happened. It was a bad foul by Calder. And they've been made to pay. Dylan Holmes. Tackle from behind and free kick. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Just got to say, Eleni, Dylan Holmes has now scored 12 goals in 13 games. She hasn't taken any penalties. She's going at a goal a game from midfield for City this year. I mean, she's just found another level every year, hasn't she?
She has. She excites me, Dylan. She's someone that, honestly, if she has a fantastic W League season, I would love to see her in the Australian setup within the next 3 to 5 years.
But hold the press.
Dylan.
Hold the press. Here's Rojas trying to fix things from an Inter point of view. And, you know, and we talk about, you know, how great, you know, Dylan has been and what a great player she is. And we've just been told there'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time. But what she's done tonight reminds me of a finals performance a few years ago by another Adelaide City player, and they were in a preliminary final against Metro United. They were 1-0 down. They looked gone for all money, and we just paused for a moment as Dorber's trying to charge through, but she's ultimately stopped. They looked gone for all money against Metro in that preliminary final. And then just 2 out-of-this-world goals by Alex Chidiac turned that game around out of nothing. And you know what? That's Dylan tonight. She has pulled her team from the brink of defeat to just being, right now, 2 minutes away from victory. Here's Dorber. Will she take it to the corner flag and eat up a few seconds? You don't see City doing that very often. They usually don't need to. She's played it inboard for Powell. It's amazing that there hasn't been more substitutions in this game. There'll be some tired bodies out there. The City are going to get a week's rest, though. If it stays like this, it won't matter so much. And Inter look like it's going to be them backing up next week for a knockout final against Metro. Can they get themselves a stoppage time equaliser? Well,
football, hey?
They're in the right part of the field from their point of view. Condon. Under pressure. Oh, lost it out though. And City are going to be able to bring it away. Here's Powell. Good person to have it under these circumstances, that's for sure. All the experience. Lovely ball through for the overlapping Dorber. She's all on her own. There's 6 Inter players back and Dorber's just holding onto the ball. If she can get it out, Adelaide City can just kill more time. She's taken it back to the corner flag and won a corner. But I was going to say there's 3 City players sitting 20 metres deep, all on their own.
Corner number 6 for Adelaide City.
They're going to use the opportunity to make a change. Di Bartolo's going to come off. And Jasmine Franks is going to come on.
Substitution for Adelaide City coming off is number 4, Daniela Di Bartolo, replaced by number 26, Jasmine Franks.
They are close now. I wouldn't say they were dead and buried, but it was getting close, Eleni.
Yeah, I feel for Inter at the moment. They had the run of majority of the match, but it's I keep saying it. It's classic City. They're fitter, they're faster in the dying minutes, and yes, the goals weren't scored from active play, but yeah, something had to happen for them to give away those frees and those corners.
And unless Inter pulls something out in this next minute or so, City are on track, I better get my maths right, for 17 league and cup wins on the trot. This would be number 17. And if they make it 18 in a fortnight, that'll be, even by their standards, quite unbelievable. Ryder now. Fry McLaren is just going to try and get it. And the one time her foot lets her down was right at the end. Holmes, can she do it? Hat-trick! Oh, yes! Oh, yes, she can! What a way to finish it for Dylan Holmes and Adelaide City. It's her night. And Salisbury Inter's wait for a win over Adelaide City is going to have to wait a little bit longer. And their wait to get into a grand final is on hold for a week as well. They're going to have to do it all over again next week against Metro if they're going to make it into their first ever WNPL grand final. But Adelaide City are in that WNPL grand final. They'll be taking part in the 2020 WNPL grand final. They'll be looking for their 4th championship in a row, their 11th overall, and a 10th trophy in 4 seasons. And they will either face Salisbury Inter again or Metro United. We'll find that out next Friday. Eleni, your reflections on that, what we've seen tonight?
Look, Inter, what a game. I think if we were wrapping the game up at 80 minutes, then yeah, it was Inter, but City, in true City fashion, have just run it out. In the end, Dylan stepped up, as always, and really it was a bit of a Dylan Holmes show rather.
They were second
for us 3 up here.
They were second best for 85 minutes, Adelaide City, and they scored 3 in 8 minutes. All of them to Dylan Holmes.
You can't fall asleep against Adelaide City.
She's done the Australia versus Japan 2006 World Cup. In fact, she's done even more than what Tim Cahill did. She scored all 3.
Yeah. Dylan probably doesn't remember that game, but I certainly do.
Well, they were having what, by their standards, probably an off night, Adelaide City, and they still come through with a massive win. We just have to reflect on Salisbury Inter. They were excellent for 85 minutes and conceded 3 late. They've given Adelaide City an absolute scare tonight. And if Salisbury Inter make it through to the grand final, well, I'll have to beat Metro, a very, very fired up Metro United, who had a great result earlier tonight against West Adelaide. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a grand final in a fortnight. But who's going to stop Adelaide City?
I have to ask you, Lenny, now we've talked about the week's rest and all that. Salisbury Inter just about kept the same 11 on the field all night. They're going to have to play again next week. Tonight's conditions would have been really difficult, really taxing for the players. That makes a difference. I mean, one game a week, okay, or will that just take a little bit of an edge off them, make it that much harder for them to not just win next week, but then, you know, win next week and launch themselves potentially for a week later in the grand final.
Yeah, Paul, they're definitely on the back foot now. I think they were playing, they didn't make any subs thinking that they were going to run this game out and get the 1-0 win, but now to have majority of the players with 90 minutes under them, yeah, a very tough few weeks ahead for them. And City, yeah, just they're gonna enjoy a rest and get a couple of good solid training sessions under their belt and be really refreshed come grand final day, and into obviously have an uphill road as to get over Metro now.
You might be able to hear the music playing over the PA. They're quite appropriately, they've got Dylan's on fire going at the moment, and good choice. Yeah, we're going to have to wrap this up. It's been absolutely terrific bringing you 2 games tonight, and we want to thank our sponsors. Tonight's WNPL final series matches proudly presented by RAA. RAA proudly supporting football in South Australia. Home, motor, travel, keep on moving with RAA. Quick recap: Metro United defeating West Adelaide in the elimination final earlier on 1-0. That means West Adelaide's season's over. Metro go through to next week's preliminary final. They'll face Salisbury Inter, who have just been defeated by Adelaide City by 3-1. And in the other match tonight, that just finished on the other pitch, Adelaide University have won their way through to the grand final, I think. Yes, they'll be in the grand final of the reserves in a couple of weeks' time, having just defeated Metro United. Thanks, Eleni. Great to have you on board again.
Thank you both for having me again.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, Eleni. Thank you.
Thank you, Spiro, and we'll be able to go home, I think, and have a warm bath tonight, mate.
I think so. But we'll be back next week to call the next qualifying final, the second qualifying final, and that'll be between Metro United and Salisbury Inter, the winner of which will meet tonight's victors, Adelaide City, in the grand final. So until next Friday night, have a safe week, everybody, and we'll be back for that great game. Good night.